One of the most frequent interface pieces that you'll be working with in Photoshop, of course, are the panels. That's where a lot of the functionality is stored. If you take a look at the window menu, you'll see there's the list of all the available panels you have at your disposal. And you'll see some of them are already open. The ones that are open have check marks next to them. There are some additional panels under the extensions submenu here, so things like mini bridge. But for the most part, most of the panels are listed here in alphabetical order. If there's a panel that you want to open that you don't see on your screen already, you go to the window menu and see and look for it. Let's say I want the character panel to open. If I go ahead and choose that panel, that now popped open on my screen. You'll see that panels actually have different states that they can be in at any given time. So here on the right, I have some panels that are expanded completely. I have some panels that are in icon mode or iconic mode. The character panel is opened as a drawer. If I click on the word character or the icon of the character panel, it collapses that panel back into its icon. So these open and close as drawers. If on a panel dock, that's a group of panels that are docked together here in a series of icons, or over here in expanded mode as well, I can resize the panel dock by putting my mouse on an edge of the dock. And if I start clicking and dragging to the left, you'll see I'll actually reveal the names of the panels. So this is icon plus label mode. These still work as drawers. So if I click on the word mini bridge, you'll see it pops open as a drawer. Click on history, it pops open as a drawer, and so forth. Over time, if you don't need to see the names of the panels when they're collapsed down like this, that's why you have the ability to drag this back to the right until they snap down all the way just to iconic mode, just to save screen real estate. If you want to expand a complete dock to all be open panels, there's a little double chevron at the top of the dock, and that will open that panel dock up as a series of expanded panels, just like the one you see here on the right. We'll go ahead and collapse that back down by clicking the double chevron again, and that takes us back down to the collapsed icon mode. Now you'll see panels are also in what we call panel groups. So you see these two panels, character and paragraph, are in a group. There's a little dotted line here at the top of the group where you can use to drag that group around. You can either change the stacking order of that and move groups around within a panel dock, or you can actually grab that gripper and move it completely out of a dock so that it's now a floating panel group. If I want to expand that, click the double chevron, and it's now just a regular floating panel like you might expect. We can go ahead and close a panel by clicking its little close box in the upper left-hand corner. If I just want to close one panel within a group, you'll see there's no close box for that. There's no little X, so you would need to right-click. So if I want to close character, right-click on the tab and choose close from the pop-up menu. And now we're just left with that one panel. Now, what if I want to reopen character and group it back with the paragraph panel? So if I go back to window and choose character, you'll see it remembers the last time it was opened, it was grouped with the paragraph panel. So it remembers to go back and regroup itself with that. Okay, we'll go ahead and close that panel group by clicking its close box. One other level of adjustment here, you can actually rearrange the panels within a group as well. So right now, adjustments in this panel group is the first panel on the left, followed by masks. If I wanted masks to be on the left, just click on the tab and drag it, and you'll see you can rearrange the order of the panels within a particular panel group. So that's kind of cool. One other adjustment that I kind of like to do is to hide my panels, not close them from being usable, but actually just to hide them from view. And this is an Adobe standard keyboard shortcut. It works in all the Adobe apps. If I hit the tab key, that just collapses the panels off to the side. Now they're not technically closed, they're just hidden, and they've been kind of put into this drawer mode. So if I mouse over to the left of the screen on one of these little panel groups, and that little thick border that you saw on the left of the screen, the tools panel will pop back open temporarily. Then I can go and mouse through and get the tool that I want. And then when I mouse out of that panel dock, it recollapses itself. So if I go back over to the right and mouse over to the right edge, you'll see that that panel group will pop open. I can do whatever I want within this particular panel group and panel dock. And as I move out of that panel dock, it again will collapse itself. So if I want to reopen all the panels back so that they're in their expanded state, hit the tab key again, it's a toggle. Now they'll stay open and won't do this auto collapse behavior. If I ever want to turn that back on again, you just simply press the tab key and you've got the best of both worlds. So lots of different ways to manage and customize and rearrange and interact with your panels. One last thing, if you want to collapse a panel just to its tab, so it's still open and one click away, but you don't want to have it open on your screen, taking up all the screen real estate. Adjustments is a good example of this. Just double click on the word adjustments and you'll see that that collapses it down just to the name of the tab here. So there you have it, lots of flexibility. You'll ultimately customize the workspace to fit your needs, and everyone kind of has their own style of setting up the shop, so to speak. Once you figure it out, you can then, of course, save that as a workspace and give it a name. So you have a one-click way to get back to your particular configuration if you end up messing it up or so forth. So for instance, if I click on the word design, this takes me back to the pre-configured design workspace. If I click back on the word essentials, Photoshop actually remembers all the adjustments I've done to this specific workspace. If I wanted to save this off and have it separate from the original default definition of the essentials workspace, then I could simply choose from the workspace menu a new workspace and give it a name. I'm simply going to choose Reset Essentials to get it back to the default version of that Essentials workspace.